All right, we're going to talk about 5 things that are different or 5 facts about the Ocala real estate market. Glenn Stein, Realty Executives here. Folks that don't know me, I've been in this business since 2000, actually 2020, for over 20 years, 22 years, as a broker since 2004, but in real estate since year 2000. Been living in Ocala since 1995, so 27 years of experience in this marketplace. And lots of ups and downs. We've seen a lot of things. Back in the late 90s, market was just we average sales price was probably around $60,000. Can get incredible value back then, but then everybody thought, well, it's Ocala. They used to call it slow Cala, but things have picked up, and a lot of things are around here, and I think it's turned into a very beautiful place because there's still a lot of charm, country charm, but there's still a lot in Ocala to plug into. Plus, your driving distance to Jacksonville, Tampa, Orlando, the beaches, and as we've seen, obviously with the last hurricane about 6 weeks ago, the only thing we saw was a lot of winds, and that's typically what happens in the interior of the state, which is where we're located, right? We're right in the middle of the state, just north of Orlando, about an hour north of Orlando, at about 30 minutes north of the Villages, and about an hour and 15 to the Orlando airport, and about an hour and a half to the Tampa airport. I guess it depends on how fast you drive. You could also go to the Gainesville airport for people that want to get around the state. Gainesville, I found, it's actually grown a little bit and actually pretty accessible to folks in Atlanta, and then you can fly anywhere you want to. But 5 things I want to talk to you about today, about the stats, about what's really going on in the Ocala real estate market. Because once you watch this, once you pay attention to these 5 stats, it's going to give you a decent idea as to where we are, and perhaps a little bit of insight as to where we're actually going. So let's take a look at what's happening in the real estate market in Ocala. One thing we need to look at is obviously when you're looking at average sales price over the years. I wasn't lying. Look at 2012. I don't have access to before this, but 2012, 103,000 was the low in January of 2012, and then went to 131. But you're looking at the average sales price is 130 for many, many years. Didn't move until 2016. We saw some jumps up there, 147, 164 in 2017, and then all the way to now. We saw a big jump obviously in 2020. Going to 230 and then 261, and another big jump into 2022, 301. But 301 is the second lowest we've seen all year. So we're starting to see a little bit of a tapering down, I think, in the sales pricing. We're seeing more price reductions, and I think that's to be expected when we go from 120 degrees super hot real estate market to just kind of a average market that looks like 2017, 2018 market, very average cadence in the number of sales. Obviously interest rates are higher, and they're very similar to what they were 5-6 years ago, maybe slightly above, but not tremendously above that amount, but way above what we saw at the beginning of this year. So one fact, 301,000 average sales price in Ocala, Florida, has come down a bit from 313 and the high of 321 back in July of this year. So that's one thing to look at. The second thing to look at, and by the way, if you have requests, I feel like a DJ, if you have requests, let me know. I do this live. There's no editing, and I just go, right? And if anybody ever wonders, so you might be watching this and might be posted and recorded, but I always do these live, and there's no editing going on. So let's take a look at the average number of active listings. Okay, so it's going to give you some insight into number of properties total on the market. And if you look at the 2012, 2017, mostly 4,000 to 5,000. Same thing 2018, 2019, and then obviously low inventory just going straight through the floor last year and into this year, 1,600 homes. And then we're starting to see a spike up and the number of new listings coming on the market. That's what this is, 3,000. So that's more, we're getting closer to more of a normal marketplace. But the one thing we do need to look at is typically we're used to having over 3,000 homes on the market. But, right now, we're under 3,000 at this moment. 2,493 is our number on the market. This is Marion County, Ocala, including Belleview and Dunnellon and the surrounding areas, but Marion County only. Okay. So those are two, second and third fact. Second fact, obviously spike up in inventory. And this gives you a little bit of perspective from where we were back, 5-10 years ago to now, and then current inventory of 2,493. So let's also take a look at, here's another thing that's really interesting that is going to give you a little bit of an indication about which way the market is going. Months of inventory. Typical 2017, 7 months of inventory, which means buyer's market. 2018, settling down, 5, 6, 7, some 8 and 9. Same thing with 2019. But now 2020, 5, 4, 3, then 2 at the end of 2020, then down to 2, and then mostly 2s. And now we're seeing it creep up again to 2, 3, 4. So, this is, if we're painting a picture, the market does this, goes, up here, and then it's coming down here. I don't see this like a hump, but I see more this and going down a little bit and then settling down to something probably pretty normal to what we saw, maybe 3-4 years ago. That's what it looks like so far. Inventory is still climbing. As I said, 2,493. Let's look at one more stat. Okay. Sales number of, and more, we've done this in the past, but I'm really interested in what took place Marion County in October, since now we're beginning in November 2022. All right, 765, it was the number in October of this year. And that is the lowest out of the 4 years, but still higher than October of 2018. We saw 680 last month, or September, which was really low. But then once again, still higher than 2018. 867 in 2022, still higher than 2018. 786 in July, same thing. I think that's we're not seeing highs in the marketplace, but we're not seeing lows in the marketplace. Like, compare that 765 October number to October of 2012 at 442. That's like, whoa, tremendously lower, a lot less sales. So, are we going to head in that direction? I suspect we're going to go to the 600 mark consistently next year. That's my guess, my educated guess based on what I know. We're probably going to look a lot like 2017, 2016 numbers, right? So those are the 5 things, right? We looked at, number of sales. We looked at months of inventory. We looked at total inventory right now. We looked at average sales on the market. And, this gives you an idea of what's happening currently, right? This tells you there's a lot here that tells you, okay, this is what's happening in the marketplace. And hopefully this gives you a good idea. All right, this is the direction that the market is going in. So if you have questions, let me know. 352-572-3796. Shout out to Roger, who connected with me yesterday, and happy to help him as well. And, we help with management. We do property management. We do rentals. We do investment properties, commercial, residential, and whatever you need, just let me know. And if you would, please subscribe. That would be fabulous. That means a lot to me. And when you subscribe to our channel, your Ocala Real Estate channel, you will get an update as to whenever we do an update. So if we do an update on the market, you'll be notified that there is a new video out. So I think that's very helpful. And if you have questions, let me know. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. Take care.